saw that he was healed, returned to Creator Sets Free, giving him loud praise and to the Great Spirit and bowing down to him. So the scriptures this morning are heavy and maybe not exactly in keeping with what we're used to for a Thanksgiving Sunday, and that's okay. But I want to start with a question. How many people have ever seen a horror movie? Show of hands. Horror movie.
Long time ago.
Long time ago. Pound for pound, scariest movie you've ever seen. Just fire off an example. Scary, like one where you were freaked out watching it. The Shining. Classic, yes.
Race with the Devil.
Race with the Devil.
Exorcist.
The Exorcist. I think that's the one. I think Exorcist is pound for pound the scariest. Damien. Yeah, Rosemary's Baby. Also very, very creepy. And I mean, things just for pure physical terror. Jaws. Yeah, like Jaws would I could be in a swimming pool, and that song goes and you're like, oh, I remember like the vents of the wave pools. That was always like the idea that there's like a shark in there that would somehow have gotten up through the pipes and was somehow in the public pool. Here's why scary movies. I love scary movies. I love being scared. But also, here's a point behind scary movies: is they're morality tales. So they are the extreme of morality tales. If you do this, if you end up in this world, this is what's going to happen. It's all good. I can edit this out later. I have the skills. We have the technology.
We can't see you, Andrea.
Well, I 100% can see her. This is great. I just saw you ducking down and running. So now I'm definitely not editing this out. There it is. So good. I watched a very scary movie last week because it's October, and this is the time to watch scary movies. And living in the country, it's so good to get really scared, and then you hear the wind scraping on the glass. It's just so much fun to be like, ooh. But I was reminded again, so I'm not going to get into the details. The movie is called The Ritual, but I was reminded again of the point behind this. It takes place in a Nordic country, backcountry kind of idea in the present age. But basically the characters stumble across this small community of people who still worship ancient Nordic gods. And with that comes some very horrific practices. And so it's a classic thing. It's almost like a deliverance. Like you have people that end up in a very, very, very bad situation, trapped in the woods, scared, with a bunch of people that you can't rationally argue with, who are capable of doing great harm. And I was struck again, as weird as this is, and this is why I like scary movies, that for the vast majority of human history, the realm of religion, the realm of deity following, involved so many what we would say as violent, arcane rituals that are surrounded with death, blood, violence, in order to appease whatever deity. And a lot of them were regional, a lot of them were for different things, crops, war, etc. And I was struck again with the readings here, with what it is that Jesus is doing in his healing ministry, what he's teaching, how the earliest followers were sort of incorporating that. The backdrop of their world was this very scary, violent place. You have the Roman Empire, which is obviously like a totalitarian government that has tremendous violence, and that's how it goes. But you also have in that part of the world, a whole collection of religious cults and sects, S-E-C-T-S, that have a whole variety of sacrificial systems put in place. And the Jewish people were unique in that they understood that animal sacrifice was superior than human sacrifice, but many, many other cultures, many other religions didn't share that. And then what Jesus does is it takes it even down and says this is a one-time sacrifice for all, which is partially why this is so alien to us 2,000 years later, is that the sacrificial system, which was at the heart of, I think I'm fair to say, every religious expression, if not the vast majority of religious expressions throughout human history, that was just an element taken out of our faith. So what we're left with is a bloodless faith. A sacrifice in a different realm, a sacrifice in what it is that we are called to do with our daily lives. What the author of Hebrews says, you are a living sacrifice. Now, the problem with a living sacrifice is it's forever crawling off the altar. So the nice thing about a dead sacrifice, it sticks. All of us as living sacrifices, we crawl on the altar on a good day and we're nope, and we crawl right off. And this is why I think this is important for Thanksgiving. Because there's always got to be space within our community for the heaviness of life, for the variety of struggles I know are taking place right in this moment, in this room right now. And this has always got to be a space where that is honored as part of faith. I will forever be, I hope, a messenger of hope and joy and change, but I don't think that's possible unless we acknowledge, today I'm tired. Today this went sideways, and today just getting through this is my sacrifice. Today trying to be thankful, trying to find a spirit of gratitude with what I am facing, with the burdens that is upon me, is sacred as well, and we cannot overlook it. On this day dedicated to thanks, it is important to find the thanks in when it's easy, when, as you said, when you're with family, and again, depending on the family, and that was kind of jokingly, but that's true. We know that family can be a source of profound pain. We could find it in the good stuff when we sit around with people we love, we have dinner and everything's great, and we can be very thankful. And that's how this holiday has been sort of taught to us. We sit around, it's Norman Rockwell-esque. Hi, Jesus. I will cover her so she's not shown on the internet or anything like that. And that's fine and good. And that is some people's experience, and we celebrate that and we are very thankful. But I also want us to be in the spirit of Thanksgiving, which of course is not just for today, not just for this weekend. What's up, little cutie? But is in all seasons. The story of Paul to Timothy, the young man, he sort of set over his communities. He's like, I love these people. These people have had faith for generations. And I am currently suffering because of my faith. This is the time when he was in jail. He's like, but please communicate to them. This I do not see as a disaster. This I do not see as a bad thing. I'm thankful because I've been able to bring this message. And I will bring this message for as many days as God has deigned to give to me. You belong to God. Whatever God is going to choose to do with you, as Jesus said, it's like, that does not make you special. This does not make you worthy of some reward. The reward is you belong to God. And He has used you in countless ways you don't know and will never fully understand. And how He uses you is up to Him. The faith is to trust that this is a God who knows you, loves you, and has an ultimate plan for all of us, has a story for all of us, and has cast His characters. And like any good creator, loves the characters He's created. Some days the sacrifice will be simple, easy, beautiful. Other days it'll be a kick in the pants, and there's no two ways to get past that. We know this, but never forget that you belong to God. And as dumb as this sounds, watching a scary movie this week reminded me that what made this such good news to the first listeners was that the character, the heart of that God they were revealing was one of love, peace, one that did not require you to become an agent of violence. Sorry, I got all choked up. Become an agent of violence, but to become an agent of peace and light. To not be the wolf, but to be the sheep. To be clever like a serpent, but to be as innocent as a dove. To walk into this world trusting God and God alone, and following the heart of God through joy, through suffering, and bringing that message in whatever way possible to as many people as possible, as many different ways as possible for all the days that are available to you. And then, and this hits real home this week, your days end. And the real story of who you are and the real picture of who God is begins. That's the real story of your life. This, in the beautiful words of C.S. Lewis, is the opening sentence, the cover page, maybe the first paragraph. The real story is yet to come. That is the message of our faith, and that is the heart of our hope, as we go out in love because we're loved. That is something to be thankful day in, day out, whatever the holiday is. That the gift is the ability to have thanks in good and bad,